What's up, YouTube? And I'm back at you with another video. And in this video, I'm going to do my preview and prediction of the Alabama versus Wisconsin matchup. Should be interesting. Both teams kind of struggling to put away teams that they should. Um, Alabama, last matchup against USF, had another rough one. But we got to give credit to USF. They're a pretty good team. Alex Golesh does a really good job with them offensively. He was the former offensive coordinator at Tennessee, so he already had a game plan. Uh, was a really good game plan as far as the quarterback with Byron Brown. Alabama just had problems in the first half of trying to contain him and stuff like that. But really, Alabama had a lot of penalties. Those are some things they got to get cleaned up going to Camp Randall this Saturday. I'm pretty sure Wisconsin is going to want to capitalize off of that and then uh, try to get a big upset over Alabama. They also have new head coach Luke Fickell, really good mind, defensive minded guy. Um, might have that defense playing at a very high level against Alabama. I'm pretty sure he wants to. So Alabama's going to have to get some things cleaned up. Um, like I said, this is on the road at Camp Randall. Should be a tough environment. It's not a night game. It's going to be early kickoff. But Alabama has to come in there focused because I believe this Wisconsin team is going to be up for this matchup. I'm going to read off the stats and I'll give you a little background of both teams. Of course, Alabama, start with them. Uh, we all know Jalen Miro, the starting quarterback. So far, he has 394 yards of passing yards. At quarterback, he has 5 touchdowns. On the ground, he's actually the leader rusher with 20 carries for 194 rushing yards with 2 touchdowns on the ground. So very dynamic quarterback. You got to be able to stop his legs, keep him contained. He can definitely scramble out and extend plays, and he's done that, in the Wisconsin, not Wisconsin, but the Western Kentucky matchup and the USF matchup. So definitely something that the Wisconsin defense is going to have their hands full in trying to contain Jalen Miro. Uh, Running back Jam Miller, he has 194 yards rushing. Um, really good running back. And I'm sorry, guys, I actually said Jalen Miro is the leading rusher. It's actually Jam Miller. He has 194 yards rushing with 2 touchdowns. Jalen Miro has 81 yards on the ground rushing. So I wanted to clear that up. But nevertheless, uh, and also Justice Haynes, 148 yards on the ground. So Alabama has a really good rushing attack. Wisconsin's going to have to be able to stop this rushing attack to even have a chance in this matchup. And typically that's what defenses like to do. Shut the run down or shut the pass down and force you to do other things. So, but Wisconsin's going to have to deal with the rushing attack and also at receiver for Alabama. 17-year-old Ryan Williams, just started, college football and already has 207 receiving yards with 3 touchdowns already. Very dynamic young man. You can tell Alabama wants to utilize him a lot in their offense. So definitely a guy that Wisconsin going to have to deal with. Also, Kobe Prentice with 77 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. Uh, Jeremy Bernard, Caleb Odom, Kendrick Law. The list goes on. Alabama's loaded at wide receiver and at tight end. C.J. Dupree, Josh Cuevas, guys like that. So Robbie Oops. So Alabama's very talented at the receiving position as well. Uh, Alabama had an injury with Cole Adams. He's the return guy. I'm not sure his status of when he's going to be able to come back, but uh, they have to look out for Mbakwe in the backfield to return punts. So Wisconsin's going to have to, keep everything in front of them, on the defensive side of the ball to try to, contain this Alabama offense. Defensively, Alabama is really good. Despite, all the penalties, Alabama's defense was able to keep, um, USF's, offense in check. They did score a touchdown and they got 2 field goals, but uh, really good defense so far. They did, give up a lot of rushing yards to USF. So that's something that look forward to see if Alabama can contain, Wisconsin's offense. And speaking of that, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to Wisconsin. You know, they have Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback. This was a guy that I was really high on, a couple years ago when he was at Miami. He never could get things going, and it seems like he's continuing to have that same, downward trend. So far at Wisconsin, he just can't get anything going. He has thrown for 406 yards, passing yards. He only has one touchdown though, and that's what I mean by like not able to get the offense flowing. I thought he was a highly touted guy coming out of high school. Just can't get things going, for the Wisconsin offense. And also rushing wise, um, they have Ches Malusi. I might be pronouncing his name wrong, but he has 134 yards rushing. He has 3 touchdowns. He's their guy. They also got Cade Yakameli. He has 108 yards on rushing. But Malusi is going to be the guy. Just the offense just doesn't look good. They haven't been able to pass the ball as well. Uh, Will Pauling, he has 108 yards receiving, but like I said, no touchdowns. Well, they only have one touchdown from C.J. Williams at wide receiver, but offensively, man, they just they're not as physical. Wisconsin used to be a very very physical team. I'm gonna be honest. When I used to watch Wisconsin back in the day, I always kind of said, they looked sort of like a SEC team the way they played. You know, they had really, really good defense, and offensively they try to run the ball uh, through the tackles, and inside zone and stuff like that. So far, Wisconsin this season hasn't, looked really, really good between the two games. I'm gonna mention that later in the video, but they gotta get something going offensively. Now, their offensive coordinator is Phil Longo. This is a guy that loves to pass the ball around. So is there a possibility that Wisconsin, is trying to hold some things out and reveal everything against Alabama this Saturday? That's going to be interesting to see. But he's a guy that loves to spread the ball out. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this, but I think they run like a 10 personnel type of offense. So, that's a lot of wide outs, just one running back, and a lot of wide receivers. So Alabama's going to have to be on their toes on the back end, especially Alabama's defensive backfield. A lot of young guys, so there might be a realm of where Wisconsin might try to exploit the secondary. But it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, defensively, not so, it's okay. Leading tackler Hunter Waller, he has 15 total tackles, and then Xavier Lucas, he has an interception. So um, it's going to be interesting to see. Luke Fickell is a very, very, good defensive-minded guy. Uh, Everywhere he's been, even when he was at Cincinnati, they had a really, really good defense. So Alabama struggled last game against USF. They did a lot of exotic blitzes. Uh, their defense coordinator did a very, very good job of putting a lot of pressure on Jalen Miro. So it wouldn't shock me if Wisconsin tried to do that as well. We'll read off, look at the last couple of games. Like I said, um, Wisconsin played against Western Michigan. Like I said, a game where they were struggling to put away a team like Western Michigan. They beat them 28-14. Also, they played South Dakota, um, beat them 27-13. Like I said, uh, Wisconsin left a lot of things left to be desired. You would think, with Luke Fickell's second, I think it's his second year there. Uh, you look for a big jump, but so far things haven't, uh, been smooth for Wisconsin. And on the other side, Alabama beat Western Kentucky 63-0, and then they beat USF 42-16. So, like I said, that score doesn't reflect how the game actually went. Like I said, at the beginning of the fourth quarter, the game was 14-13. So, uh, got some things, for Alabama they got to work on, especially their O-line. They had two guys out. Caden Proctor, he was injured. And also, if I'm not mistaken, I think Elijah Pritchett was injured as well. So, but when he came in the game, Alabama was able to pick it up offensively. So we'll see what happens with their O-line. I'm looking at the prediction for this matchup. The over and under is 50 points. Right now, Alabama's favored at 16 points. If I had to give my prediction for this matchup, like I said, it's an early kickoff, 11 a.m. kickoff. Alabama's going on the road. I'm going with Alabama to win this matchup. I just think Alabama's more dynamic, can be more potentially more dynamic on offense. Like I said, Wisconsin hasn't really, showed me anything that makes me think that it'll be too much of a threat for Alabama. Tyler Van Dyke, he can run the ball, but he's nothing like Byron Brown. So I feel like he's going to be more of a guy that's going to stand in the pocket, but he can extend plays. Any quarterback can extend plays, but I don't think Wisconsin has enough, to keep up with Alabama. If I had to give a prediction, I'm thinking somewhere between Alabama getting 30-some points, maybe 35, 38 points to maybe 17, maybe. I think Wisconsin can potentially catch some of our young guys in the secondary and get something going there. But so far, really, Alabama's defense on the back end, they haven't really given up big plays. But one thing I can say, in their last matchup, if Byron Brown was just a little bit more accurate, the score they probably would have been up, going into the second half. So that's something to look at. I think Tyler Van Dyke is capable of doing that. So this could be, tight, in the first half, but I think Alabama's going to pull away with the victory. But what do you guys think? Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. And once again, if you haven't, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely be back with more college football content. Thanks, guys, and roll tide.